Hello, India. My name is Abhishek and I'm currently a Member Committee Vice President for National Exchange Partnerships. As part of the business development team of AIESEC in India, we are bringing something very exciting to all of you. Irrespective of who you are and where you come from, whatever portfolio you are handling, something that is essential in the life of each and every AIESECer is sales. Every day we go out there to sell the idea of the organization, to sell our products to people who we believe can benefit from it from the most. Alright? Okay. So even before I move into what I want to do, I want to have a small conversation with you where I ask you a few certain questions. Do you completely understand what you're selling as a product? Now if you don't, I would strongly suggest you to stop watching this video right now and go back to the resource hub and understand your product in and out, because you need to understand what are the points where you can sell this product, what are the things that you can talk to about the product to your customer and so on. Now, when I'm talking about these small points that you sell to this customer saying that this is what is good about it, these are the points that are known as the value proposition of a product. For example, if I take a general example of say a phone. A phone might have a good processor, it might have a good memory, a good camera and so on. These are the value propositions of the camera or the specifications, if I can say in any other way. But there's something which attracts you the most, doesn't it? There is something, probably it can be the brand, it can be a very good processor, or there might be some aspect of it which will attract you, and that is known as the unique selling point. And similarly, AIESEC, each and every product of AIESEC has a unique selling point, which by now you should have guessed is leadership. Leadership is developed through any product that we generally offer to anybody else, right? Now, how do you identify this is through your research, by understanding your product, by having conversations with your team leader, if you're a vice president, with your LCP or whatever, right? Cool. Now, another set of questions that I want to ask you before I move on is these, okay? Now, what are you trying to sell? I think we already covered how do you find out about that. Now, the second thing is, who are you trying to sell it to? You have a brilliant product. Yes, if you might have an iPhone, but you're going and selling it to somebody who cannot afford it, how much ever your pitch is good and brilliant, you're never going to make a sale, right? Now that is the second thing. Now the third thing is, how do you want to sell it? Meaning that what are the channels that you want to use to approach this particular clientele, customer base, or whatever you might call it, and how do you sell it to them? And the fourth and the most important point is, where do you want to sell it? Or what is the place physically? Like, do you want to do it in an event? Do you want to do it over a call and an appointment? So these are the things that I want to ask you before, something for you to think about before I move on to the actual sales process. Now, the sales process is divided into 8 particular parts, and those 8 particular parts are divided into 2 parts, which is the first part is what I'm going to be covering, which is nothing but preparing for a sale. In the life of a salesman, we want to approach everybody, we want to sell everything. We are very, very ambitious people, definitely. But we need to be backed by proper data, by proper research before we move into anything. Alright, so the first part here is prospecting. Now, when I'm talking about prospecting, it is nothing but making a list of people who I believe will benefit from this particular product. Now, when you think about a product, you immediately get a few names in your head thinking that, oh wow, I think these are the people who can really buy it. But the mistake that we often tend to do is we only look at it in a revenue sort of a way. We look at, which is not a bad thing, obviously BDB people love money, but also something which is important is that how much of a value is this particular product going to add to their organization or to that particular person is something that we really need to understand, right? Now, once you make a proper list of people that you believe would be able to benefit from this product and help you out in terms of revenue at the same time, we move to the second important part, which is qualifying. Now, everybody probably will not qualify to be somebody who would benefit from an AIESEC product. Now that is a tad bit unfortunate, but I think we will reach a point where there might be an AIESEC for everyone. But for the moment, now, when I'm talking about qualifying, I'm talking about, is this organization going to add value to AIESEC? Yes, it might definitely give you revenue, it might give you a high volume of sales, but would they be able to enable a proper experience? If you probably are an IGT VP and you're going to sell this particular product, will they be able to give you a good experience to your interns? Now these are the questions that you really need to ask. Then you need to also ask, are they organizationally aligned to our organization in terms of our vision, in terms of our values? Do they share commitment to empower these youngsters who they are going to benefit in terms of leadership and so on? Right? Now, and also something that BD peeps specifically need to think about is the principles of partnership and making sure that no company or no enabler that you want to approach is violating this particular thing, right? Then you look at the third thing, and this is something that would be really challenging and interesting at the same time, is creating the most of this particular opportunity. Now, what do I mean by this particular thing? Is very simple. Now, you might have a good BD partner as a VPBD you might think about it, but your primary purpose here is how does it support exchange and give me revenue at the same point of time. For example, you might go to a client and the client is willing to take interns. Yes, but maybe the client would also be able to sponsor an event and benefit from that and give revenue to AIESEC at the same point of time. So my simple point is, if you have a client who you believe would be good for something, are you sure that they would not be able to take some more products of AIESEC? Are you completely leveraging from them? Is my big question. And the fourth part is, how do you present this particular piece of information to the particular client or whoever the customer is? How do you show them that, okay, I did my market research, I did my homework, and this is what I believe you can benefit from AIESEC at the same point of time. This is what we are looking for, and this is the best kind of information. So how do you create beautiful proposals, and not just in terms of proposals, in terms of documents, but how do you create, how do you do your research, how do you do your homework on this particular thing is what I'm talking about. Now, I'll leave it to you to do your homework after I finish this video and think about all these four aspects of a pre-sale, or how do you prepare for a sale. And as you might have noticed, this entire thing is known as market research. Whatever we talked about so far, these four steps comprise of market research. And after market research comes the most important part, the second most important part, which is the actual sale itself, which is going to be covered in the next video. But as important as the sale is, a salesman also needs to know his market, needs to know the trends, needs to know what kind of pricing should be there for the product, and also should know how to leverage the maximum out of somebody else. At the same time, keep in mind how do you benefit from them, and also how do they benefit from you. Thank you so much. You can feel free to write to me if you have any doubts about the same thing. Catch me up wherever you can. Thank you so much.